rainbow.
Let's ask you, Emma, about Meghan Markle. Is she a great woman of vision?
I'm glad you've let me off the leash, because Archetypes, that podcast, was not about celebrating women. It was about Meghan. It was about how wonderful she was, her bestie, her celebrity female bestie friend, and it always came back to her. It always came back to how Meghan had time and space and yoga and, you know, green kale. It was always about her. If you listen to one episode, let alone 20 episodes of Archetypes, you will be ready to jump out of the nearest window. I'm afraid with Meghan, it's always been about her.
Yeah.
I mean, she came to this country apparently looking for a prince.
Yeah.
Then dropped all her mates that had been nice to her along the way and all of that, and her family. I don't trust... This may not be rational. I don't trust couples where they have these terrible fallings out and alienate families. It just doesn't...
Yeah.
There's something wrong there. It's a toxic partnership, I think, for both of them. I don't think Harry's happy. I don't think Meghan is particularly happy. I think the whole...
coronation.
The fa-la-la around the coronation was just... It was all about them.
You know what, Stephen Pound, I don't know whether you like a gossip about Harry and Meghan,
well,
do you?
I'm not one to gossip.
But I heard she's very happy. I heard from somebody who knows her fairly well that she's very happy.
Oh, come on. She's
taken a step back. She's just chilling out in the house. She's left it all behind. And she's got ambitions now to be herself, to represent causes she feels strongly about.
She's even got royal titles for her kids.
I'm sorry, this is a pound shop Gwyneth Paltrow that we've got here. I mean, this is just embarrassing. I'm sorry. Look, I have to say that I was impressed to see that Gloria Steinem is still around. You know, she's a marvellous character back in the 60s. But look, I think you, not for the first time, have absolutely nailed it. When you, well, I haven't finished yet. But when you said she had everything laid on for... When she came over here, it was Meghan Sparkle, Markle the Sparkle. You know, we absolutely opened the doors and laid the cloak over the puddle for her. And what did she do? Threw it back in our face.
Yeah, it feels like her.
I'm sorry, that's really what it... And all this stuff, oh, protect me, Harry, they're being horrible to me, Harry. It makes me
I can still remember when she was in South Africa, she was on that tour. She'd just been with women who had been repeatedly raped by tribe women, do you remember? Yeah. And then she talked to Tom Bradby, the reporter, and he said...
No one ever asked me if I'm okay.
No one ever asked me how I am.
It's one of my favourite sayings. When I'm not okay, I always go, nobody ever asked me if I'm okay. I just channel my inner Meghan.
She then went on this incredible rant about how awful her life was, this life of stunning privilege and entitlement, riches beyond she could ever have imagined as a pretty jobbing actress in Suits, frankly. And a title... And she threw it all back at them. I think she just needs to... Let's see what happens.
You see what Paddy Power are offering for the odds for that marriage lasting more than 5 years?
Well, I gave it 4.5.
4.5?
Yes.
Really?
That was my prediction.
25 to 1 again.
Ooh, that's probably worth a little flutter.
Actually, that's worth a little flutter.
One has had a little flutter.
How long does it last thus far? Is it 4?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Must be... Time's gone elastic.
I was there, not as a guest. I was reporting it, covering it, and I can tell
the royal wedding?
There was great happiness in winter. Yeah. I was in the Royal Mile, and the atmosphere was fantastic. People were thrilled to see this woman of colour. Yeah. And I got into terrible trouble for saying, well, I think because people have accused me of saying people don't like her because they're racist. Saying, when people look at Meghan Markle, they don't see a woman of colour. They don't.
And I thought, that was particularly stark with that South African tour when she was talking to people who were desperately, desperately poor in sub-Saharan Africa, and there she is.
And being abused and raped. Yeah. And they were learning boxing, those girls, so they could defend themselves.
Fair play to them, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, no, but I think your comments, I mean, it's like watching the Eurovision Song Contest and trying to see anyone who isn't, pure white. It's extraordinary. I love you just don't see people.
I love the Eurovision Song Contest.
Do you know, I have to say, you've got to be the compare for that.
I love
I mean, you are so better.
Were last 2 years running.
Well, there's a certain element of, may I say, schadenfreude.
I also love the fact the UK was second last because she's awful, that woman. She should not have been slagging off Britain if she was going to sing for UK.